Hey guys, I hope you're hungry. Welcome back to War Stories here on the Full Ensigns channel. My name is Jericho, and today I am joined by the Iceman.
Hello, I'm a little grumpy today.
Yeah, the world is a little grumpy because a wrestling pay-per-view just happened. So you can't, as far as I can see, you can't do a 5-on-5 elimination match in 2K17. So I'm doing 3-on-3 for the singles paper. You know what I mean. So I'm doing Jericho Owens and Braun Strowman versus Shane, Bray Wyatt, and AJ Styles.
Another Kane.
And another, a further Kane. So, Survivor Series, what are your initial thoughts? I mean, I guess you already said you're a little grumpy.
I mean, I'm as mad as I am. It still, wasn't... I was still entertained by pretty much almost the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just too mad for my own good. Well, I'm definitely too mad for my own good, but I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I saw a lot of people, I will get definitely more into this as we go, but I saw a lot of people on Twitter talking about that WWE seems that they're more interested in creating moments than memories. Like, they want, that one crazy thing that happened rather than building a cohesive, long-term something that you'll remember forever. And I think
even though if you just build a cohesive story, those things are going to come naturally.
Yep, exactly. But I think there's a lot to that that I definitely felt throughout Survivor Series, just with their obsession with having huge crazy spots and weird surprising things happen. And you said while we were talking about it during the show, surprise is fine and predictability is fine. You just always have to be logical, and for something completely insane to happen just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Correct. Yes. Yeah, predictability is fine if it makes sense for the story. Just
yeah.
I don't know. And just have a surprise and be like, oh my god.
Yeah, for the sake.
Look at that. A 90-year-old man beat a 20-year-old professional fighter.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So the first match on the show was the women's Survivor Series match, and I was surprised by it. I was surprised to see Sasha go out relatively early. I think she was the third one eliminated, which is I mean,
that bodes ill.
Yeah,
that bodes ill for Sasha. There's something going on.
Yeah, we both have gone on the show before about how much we love Sasha, and she thinks she deserves so much more than she's getting. We just don't understand her continued just drop down the card. And this is the worst of it that we've seen is just it wasn't even no pomp and circumstance. She was just eliminated. That was just it. Oh, Sasha's gone. As if she was in the same class as Naomi and the other Alicia Fox, the other early eliminations. It just shows that they just don't really care about what's happening with her and her character right now. And then, of course, when the match was over and Charlotte and Bayley survive, Charlotte attacks Bayley, so they're just continuing to build their feud.
Are they forgetting that Sasha gets rematch? Automatic rematch.
Yeah, I feel like they honestly are.
It's a thing, though. It's not just that's not just when it's convenient for the story.
Right. You got to do it. It's the one time-honored thing of wrestling that still happens a good amount of times. You know, it's the one thing you shouldn't just drop for no good reason.
But whatever. I can't comment on this match too much myself because I did not get to see the majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
I actually really only saw the finish.
So the other thing that happened that was really just unbelievable to me was Nia Jax, her first time being eliminated, being beaten on the main roster, was tapping out to the disarmer relatively quickly.
That's right.
And that's great. That's great to make.
It hurts.
Ow! Oh. That's great to make Becky look strong, but then she gets beaten soon after that anyway.
Right. Yeah. So now you've beaten your top monster, the only monster heel you have in the women's division, and one of your champions.
Yep. Yeah, the casual disregard they had for their champions getting beaten last night was a consistent theme throughout the night. And if you have all your champs in non-title matches, or many of them, it's gonna happen. But I don't know. It was still a tough pill to swallow at times.
Yeah.
I also didn't think I was okay with Raw winning the women's one because I thought for sure they would win the other two. But as it was, I thought it was. As we'll find out, that is not how it came to pass. So therefore, I don't know. I do feel that SmackDown has the stronger women's division, so I would have wanted them to win, but whatever. It's far from my biggest gripe on the show, definitely. So what was next? Next was the Intercontinental title.
I believe it was. Here, let me take a look at the match list and I have it up. Yep, Intercontinental Championship, Miz versus Raw's Sami Zayn, and if Sami Zayn won, he got to take the Intercontinental title to Raw.
That's right. And I thought it was a really good match. Miz continues. Miz is like one of the MVPs of 2016 to me.
Absolutely.
Like, he's so
Absolutely.
good. Every single match he has is great. He's done great stuff with Ziggler, and then this match with Sami Zayn was really good. Like, it's been awesome to just love Miz again, and for him to like really be featured. And like what he says is true. He really has made the Intercontinental title matter.
Absolutely. That was one of my main events.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
Was to see who was going to win the IC title.
And I'm happy. I thought that they were going to do like a screw job because they're in Canada and they literally can't help themselves. But no, it was just Maurice being clever. So
what Sami Zayn had him in a some kind of submission, and Maurice rings a bell, so Sami Zayn thinks that he won. How much of a dork does Sami Zayn look?
Oh yeah.
Like,
yeah, why you didn't watch the ref or the guy you're making submit to see if he's tapping out as of no interest to you? Yeah. Hey guys, so we had some technical difficulties with this episode. Iceman had something happen on his end, and then when we came back, my microphone was muted. So this is now a post-commentary. I'm not actually playing the game. And I'm just going to finish I'll just record my thoughts about the rest of the pay-per-view. And unfortunately, we'll be spared. I was going to say we'll be spared Iceman. We won't have the pleasure of the Iceman's company for the remainder of the video. So sorry about that, guys. This is only the second time I've ever had to do post-commentary. But I didn't want to lose... Like, at least we had, the first, third of the video, and and a lot of the pay-per-view we had already talked about. So we move on. We already talked about the Intercontinental title. So we move on to the Tag Team Survivor Series match. So the thing that really got to me about that was New Day was eliminated immediately. Now, I've railed on New Day before in this show, and I don't like seeing champions get beaten for no reason. And them getting pinned in a second, like, it's what we were talking about before, about a moment and not a memory. The history books aren't going to go on and on about what happened to the New Day. Why not have them really get into it with one of the other teams, and then they finally beat them, and they try to cheat and all, but no, it's just just for the sake of having something crazy happen. Something crazy happened. And I don't like that Rizanga, who are just trying to get their stupid gimmick over, that now the fashion police. It's funny and ridiculous, and they're handing out citations, or whatever. They get pinned right away too. Come on. So that was sort of a problem. Slater and Rhino got pinned pretty easily too, and Sheamus and Cesaro. I thought okay, we managed to team up, and we got it done. Together we helped Team Raw win. So I thought they would finally be on the same page after that. But no. Instead, they were immediately back to feuding even after they won. So I guess maybe now they'll work together from time to time, but still hate each other's guts or something. Like MVP and Matt Hardy. When it's time, they'll get the job done. But we'll see. We'll see about that. I don't think they're gonna beat the New Day tonight at time of recording on Raw to win the tag titles. Obviously, because the New Day haven't beaten the record yet, and if not. If they do win, at least the New Day will finally lose and we can move on. But then why did they have the tag titles for over a year and neuter the entire rest of the Raw division? I thought it was a totally the wrong move to have Raw win I think the SmackDown teams are much better. Every team is just a comedy, but it's so bad on Raw. The Shining Stars are just a silly gimmick. The Club have been completely bastardized, and they're just as stupid. Like the Doctor stuff they did with the New Day, like it's all ridiculous. Every team just has to be funny, and like even Sheamus and Cesaro, who are two like serious, like they're treated as like legitimate threats and strong, worthy opponents. Are now like a goofy odd couple. Like they can't, nothing can be serious about the serious business of tag team wrestling, which sucks a lot. The Usos got to look really good. The realest guys in the room also got to look really good. I was happy with that. I was happy with a lot of the spots. One thing I didn't like, and then the singles stars Survivor Series match did this too. It always breaks down, like where everybody gets in the ring, and I know they want to do the crazy cool spots and have everybody springing to the outside and all, but we've seen that so many times. Like I'm done with that. I don't want to see that anymore. Like, why does the ref not care? And then when they did it in the singles match, somebody even got counted out. So like, well now the rules matter. So everybody be careful. It's just a bit ridiculous. So yeah, I thought the wrong guys won. Not very happy with with that match. So then we have the Cruiserweight title, and I love Brian Kendrick. I've said every single time since he's been back, I love him. I want to see him do well. But I was shocked that he won, and he won in kind of an interesting way. Baron Corbin is just becoming. Iceman said it too in the recording that we lost, that Corbin is just really one of his favorites on SmackDown right now. That he's doing a lot of good work. And I like that he attacked Kendrick first, so that Kalisto also lost via DQ rather than winning. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. It's like a smart move, But the 205 Live show is going to be on Tuesday nights. They're going to record it right after SmackDown. Like, the Cruiserweights must be going to SmackDown. Like, it just doesn't make sense otherwise. Unless they just want them on both, just to have them, like, all the time. But as far as I can tell, just from fan reactions and my reactions, nobody really cares about the Cruiserweights. So why are they doubling their exposure on TV at this juncture? So we'll see. And then if that is indeed the case, that they are going to move the whole division to SmackDown, why not let Kalisto win at Survivor Series so he's on a bigger stage and make it seem like the Cruiserweights matter? If he just wins it on tonight on Raw for whatever reason, then what good did that do anybody? But maybe they'll just be like, well, maybe they'll like work out some sort of trade, like where Sami Zayn and the Cruiserweights are going to SmackDown because of whatever reason or something. Because I guess SmackDown did win more overall, right? There were 5 cross-brand matches. SmackDown won the Intercontinental, Raw... Oh, no, Raw won more. SmackDown won the Intercontinental and the Single Stars, and then Raw won the other 3, so never mind. But I remember early on in the build for Survivor Series, they did talk about how the winning brand would get, like, some draft picks or something, or, like, would get to steal people. But I guess they just dropped that, because SmackDown can't spare people. I don't know. It's just ridiculous. I don't really like how it's like they're trying to teach people that we're wrong to prefer SmackDown as a show, but that sort of thinking is why nobody likes Raw. So moving on, yeah, the Cruiserweight. It was a good match too. I don't know. I don't really like Kalisto, but it would have been good for him to have that platform if that's what indeed the way they're going with it. But I'm not going to complain about Kendrick escaping with his title by any means, especially after such a short title reign, only 2 weeks. Or I guess a little bit longer now because it wasn't every other week like it has been. So then we had the single stars. We had that's the match I recreated as best as possible in the game here. So it was Wyatt, Orton, Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, and Shane McMahon for SmackDown, and then Owens, Jericho, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman for Raw. I like that Strowman didn't get pinned. It's the first time that the Ellsworth crap has really been funny to me, was Ellsworth holding him from under the ring so he couldn't come back in to stop himself from getting counted out. That was clever. I love that Bray Wyatt finally got a huge convincing win on pay-per-view, on a Big 4 pay-per-view, no less. So at the end of the match, it was basically down to Rollins and Reigns versus Orton and Wyatt. And, like, they were able to take out Rollins. Orton caught him in midair with an RKO, and then Roman was going to spear Wyatt to eliminate him, but Orton took the spear, like, saved Wyatt, sacrificed himself, and Wyatt was just able to pin Roman squeaky clean. So they both survived. Orton and Wyatt both survived for SmackDown, which was cool. I like that SmackDown won convincingly. Much as they'll do in this stupid match. I cannot pin anybody. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way through recording because I'm moving along a lot quicker with it being just me. But Styles I had critically injured on his torso and his head. Like the dark red, like as much damage as he could be. And I still was never able to pin him. Like they kept breaking it up, and then I accidentally got counted out as Jericho. I don't know what happened, but it was just a shit show. But the thing I didn't like about the singles match was it all broke down again. Like all sorts of craziness happened. Like Luke Harper kept interfering, and then Ambrose to me is an idiot, and I don't see why Shane and Daniel Bryan wouldn't, like in storyline of course, like why they wouldn't suspend him, because his job was to help the team win. And he didn't do that at all. He attacked AJ, and so AJ attacks him back, and Ambrose got pinned because of it. And then Ambrose came back, and they had a mini Shield reunion, which was kind of cool. That's the one way to get them to cheer for Reigns again, is remind them of when he was good. They did the Shield triple powerbomb through the announce table with AJ, and that's how AJ Styles got pinned, which I thought was cool. If you have to have your champion get pinned, like at least make a big deal out of it. Owens got DQ'd because he attacked somebody with a list. Like it's ridiculous spots in this match. And then Jericho was like trying to pick up the list of papers everywhere. It's so silly. And then he got like rolled up or something. But like, why wouldn't I punish Ambrose or punish Baron Corbin for that matter? Corbin interfering in the Cruiserweight title match and costing SmackDown an entire division of guys that would make them like get better ratings. Like could help the brand moving forward. You know, again in storyline. Like, if I'm Daniel Bryan, like, you're fired. Like, why did you do that to your show? Why did you do that to me? So yeah, I don't know about a lot of the logic that they do. And speaking of that, the main event is Lesnar versus Goldberg, and Goldberg destroys Brock Lesnar in 1 minute and 25 seconds and pins him, and that's it. Lesnar has finally had his big loss after 3 years of dominance, after beating the Undertaker streak, squashing Cena for the title, all to lose to a 50-year-old man. And we're recording this. I'm sorry that this episode is later than usual. I wanted to do the special Thanksgiving episode, and I wanted to do the Fantastic Beasts review right away. I didn't want that to be a week late because you always strike when the iron is hot on movie reviews, and movie reviews typically do better than the wrestling stuff on my channel anyway. So there might have been some news since then. We already have learned that Goldberg is apparently going to compete in the Royal Rumble, which is fine. But I don't know where we go from here. Like, even if Lesnar is embarking on another run, he'll be here for 1.5 years, 2 years. Like, he's going to be like, I guess like a feature like Lesnar. I can't imagine he's going to be on Raw every week. You know, he'll be here from time to time. But he's not the future, regardless. He's not going to be here for 10 or 20 more years. He's not somebody like Rollins that you could build, or I mean, even Owens is older. Like, Balor. I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody that still is young. Like Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt, I think, is like 28 or 29. Have him beat Lesnar. Or Owens. I mean, Owens isn't that old. Sami Zayn, like, they both will be with the WWE for years. So, you know, time will tell. Time makes fools of us all. And I'm sure when we look back, but I don't know. I said that about Lesnar beating Undertaker, and I still think that was a terrible mistake that it seems has led to nothing, because the guy that beat him, I mean, I guess it's good that Undertaker never crossed Goldberg back then, or the streak would have been like 9-1. Because yeah, 12 years ago, I don't know, not quite, something. It wouldn't have been as impressive, because obviously, and I'm sure that the rhetoric going forward will be that like, oh well, Lesnar just underestimated Goldberg like crazy. Everybody did. You know, and he did like have his back to him when he hit him with the first spear. Because that's what happened. Like, Lesnar kind of bullied Goldberg into the corner. And when I saw that, I thought it was going to be like Orton and Lesnar's match had been at SummerSlam, where like it was set up that it was going to be like a big fight, and then Lesnar basically just destroys him. So he pushes him into the corner. Goldberg shoves Lesnar down. Lesnar like kind of takes his time getting up and has his back to Goldberg. Goldberg spears him. Sets him in the corner, spears him again, jackhammer, 1, 2, 3, 1 minute 25 seconds. And it was a shock, you know, a very hugely surprising, but we'll see how it pays off in the future. We'll see if it really is the best decision for the company, because right now it's hard to see how that might be the case. But who knows? They've surprised me before. They surprised me last night, and if they wanted to get people buzzing and wanting to watch Raw, you know, they did their job. but they need to have people wanting to watch Raw for weeks and months to come, not immediately after the pay-per-view because they did something crazy and unexpected. So that's basically my thoughts on Survivor Series. Thank you to Iceman for joining me. Sorry about what happened, folks. We're missing his commentary for the latter half of the pay-per-view, but at least we got our thoughts at we were able to get some of the. At least I was able to get go through the whole show. But yeah, sorry again that happened, and I guess that'll about do it for me today. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any war stories on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But I have content coming to you every single day here on the Fulson's channel. For Iceman, my name is Jericho. I'll see you guys next time. I don't know about you, but we're full.